Usually, biology is the kind of science where you stare at cells through a microscope, take some notes, and hope your lab partner didn't spill the petri dish. But in 2024, things went turbo. This was the year biology stopped just observing nature and started rewriting it. Ancient mysteries were cracked open with modern tools, and brand new tech, powered by artificial intelligence, started doing jobs nature never got around to. So let's rewind the year 2024 and break down 3 jaw-dropping breakthroughs that turned heads, nabbed Nobels, and might just change everything. To start off, let's travel roughly 4.2 billion years into the past. If you think your family tree is old, think again. Scientists in 2024 traced all life on Earth back to a single common ancestor living just a few 100 million years after the planet formed. They affectionately call this primal organism Luca, short for last universal common ancestor, because it's basically the great-great-great insert a few million more greats-grandparent of all life on Earth. Yes, that includes you, your pet goldfish, the oak tree in your yard, and the bacteria in your yogurt. Luca was likely a tiny microbe, but don't let its size fool you. This little organism was a big deal. By comparing genes from about 700 modern bacteria and archaea species, researchers reconstructed much of Luca's genetic blueprint, revealing a surprisingly complex creature with around 2,600 proteins in its cells. So, what was life like for this earliest ancestor of ours? Evidence suggests Luca survived in a harsh environment. Think boiling hot undersea vents or primal soup rich in gases. It could metabolize hydrogen and carbon dioxide to produce energy, basically living off the chemicals around it. If that sounds alien, well, Luca's world was alien compared to today's Earth. Perhaps most astonishing, Luca apparently had an early form of an immune system. Scientists found signs that this little microbe was already locked in an arms race with viruses trying to infect it. In fact, the genetic analysis suggests Luca possessed primitive virus-fighting proteins, similar to what bacteria today use in their immune defenses. This discovery matters not just for bragging rights about our oldest ancestor's age. Reconstructing Luca's traits helps scientists understand how life evolved from simple beginnings into the incredible diversity we see now. It turns out life got going fast. Earth was only a toddler of about 400 million years old when Luca came along. That's a blink of an eye in geological time. The fact that a functioning ecosystem, with microbes recycling each other's waste and viruses in the mix, was established so early gives hope that life might spring up readily on other Earth-like planets, given the right conditions. Jumping back to the present, let's zoom into something inside our bodies that went popular in 2024, the vagus nerve. You've probably never given much thought to your vagus nerve, but it's a superstar of body regulation, a literal nerve superhighway connecting your brain to most of your major organs. In fact, it's so vital that if you cut the vagus nerve on both sides, well, that's the end of the road. In 2024, scientists revealed just how this unassuming nerve can be hacked to treat diseases, and it's a fascinating story of accident and innovation. Researchers actually stumbled onto the vagus nerve's secret powers over the immune system by accident about 2 decades ago. They were testing an anti-inflammatory drug on rat brains when, lo and behold, the rats' bodies also showed less inflammation. The team scratched their heads until they realized the brain sent a calming signal down the vagus nerve that told the spleen and immune cells to chill out. As one scientist, Dr. Kevin Tracy, put it, the vagus nerve was acting like the brake lines in your car, essentially slamming the brakes on excessive inflammation. In everyday terms, our brain can secretly tell our immune system, "Whoa there, calm down," via this nerve. Fast forward to 2024, and this inflammatory reflex has become a new way to treat disease. Instead of taking loads of medication to suppress an overactive immune system, which can have nasty side effects and cost a fortune, you could just zap a nerve to get the same result. It sounds like science fiction, but tiny implanted devices that deliver mild electric pulses to the vagus nerve are showing promise for conditions like rheumatoid arthritis. In fact, rheumatoid arthritis, which affects about 1.5 million people in the US, is poised to become the first autoimmune disease treated with electrical nerve stimulation instead of drugs. Patients in early studies have seen reduced joint inflammation when their vagus nerve therapy is switched on, essentially using their body's built-in brake mechanism to control the disease. And it's not just arthritis. Trials are underway using vagus nerve stimulation for other inflammatory conditions like Crohn's disease and multiple sclerosis as well. The best part of this neuroimmune trick is how specific and side effect-free it might be. Drugs that suppress the immune system broadly can leave you vulnerable to infections and other complications. In contrast, tapping the vagus nerve is more like dialing your body's own anti-inflammation circuit, which could avoid the shotgun blast effect of drugs. It's early days, but the fact that engineers and doctors are collaborating on electroceutical implants to treat immune disorders marks a breakthrough shift. One day, controlling inflammation might be as simple as tuning a pacemaker-like device in your neck. So next time you feel your heartbeat slow after a deep breath or a moment of calm, that's your vagus nerve at work. And in 2024, we learned it might also be the key to calming an overzealous immune system when illness strikes. How's that for nerves of steel? After exploring ancient life and high-tech healing, the next advancement we'll discuss is at the intersection of biology and computer science. In 2024, artificial intelligence officially earned rock star status in biology by solving a problem that had stumped humans for half a century, predicting how proteins fold. Now, if you're not a biologist, protein folding might sound like laundry chores for your gym supplements, but it's actually a fundamental puzzle of life. Proteins are the workhorses in our cells. They start out as long chains of amino acids and then twist and bend into specific 3D shapes that allow them to do things, whether it's carrying oxygen in your blood or fighting infections. Figuring out a protein's shape is crucial because structure is equal to function in biology. For decades, scientists struggled to predict a protein's 3D shape from the sequence of its amino acids alone. It was deemed an impossible, or at least fiendishly hard problem. Enter the age of AI. In late 2020, a project by DeepMind, a London AI lab, shocked the scientific world by cracking this protein folding problem using a deep learning AI system. By 2022, that AI, named AlphaFold, had predicted the structures of virtually all 200 million known proteins in every organism scientists have sequenced. Yes, you heard that right. What used to take researchers years of lab work per protein, an AI can now predict in minutes with remarkable accuracy. By 2024, this achievement was so momentous that the scientists behind it, Demis Hassabis and John Jumper, received the Nobel Prize in Chemistry for solving the protein structure puzzle. It's like the biology equivalent of landing on the moon. A 50-year-old problem was solved overnight, and the floodgates of discovery opened. So, why does this matter for regular people? Because knowing protein shapes helps us do everything in biology better and faster. For example, if you know the exact shape of a protein that a virus needs to infect cells, you can design a drug that fits into that protein and blocks it. Much like knowing the shape of a lock lets you craft a key to jam it. Before, researchers often had to laboriously determine structures experimentally or make educated guesses, which was slow and expensive. Now, with AI-generated protein models at their fingertips, scientists can understand diseases and design treatments with unprecedented speed. The potential applications span medicine, energy, environmental science, and more. There's more. We even taught computers to master the building blocks of life. Proteins are sometimes called life's Lego pieces, and in 2024 we saw AI prove it can read the instruction manual for those pieces like a pro. The Nobel Committee noted that achievement by recognizing it officially, emphasizing that this discovery opens up vast possibilities in science. So, The next time you hear about a new wonder drug or a breakthrough enzyme, there's a good chance an AI had a hand in figuring out the protein shapes involved. Consider the protein folding mystery officially solved, and give a little nod to our algorithmic friends for cracking nature's code. Solving puzzles is impressive, but 2024 also showcased something even wilder, using AI to create brand new proteins that have never existed in nature. If the previous breakthrough was about reading nature's instruction manual, this one is about writing new chapters in that manual. This field is called protein design, and one of its pioneers, Dr. David Baker, also snagged a Nobel Prize in 2024 for his revolutionary work. The basic idea is straightforward to explain, even if it's incredibly complex to do. We can now use computers and AI to invent proteins to do whatever useful job we can dream up, rather than being limited to the proteins evolution handed us. Think of proteins as tiny machines. Natural proteins evolved to do specific tasks, but sometimes we wish we had a machine that evolution never got around to building. For example, a protein that could gobble up the microplastics polluting the ocean, or one that could neutralize a new virus that didn't exist centuries ago. In the past, scientists tried to modify existing proteins for new jobs, a bit like customizing a car that's already built. Dr. Baker's approach is more like building a custom car from scratch, designed precisely for the job. His team developed software tools that allow them to specify a desired protein shape or function, and then have the computer figure out an amino acid sequence that would fold into that shape and perform that function. It was once deemed almost impossible to build totally new proteins this way, but not anymore. In 2024, this work was fully in the spotlight, showing that we can make proteins that aren't found in any living organism, yet work in our world. The results have been jaw-dropping. Baker's group and others have designed proteins that act as pharmaceuticals and vaccines, proteins that form nanomaterials stronger than natural ones, and even teeny-tiny protein sensors that can detect chemicals or light. One designed protein can help guide nerve regeneration. Another might serve as a basis for a new cancer therapy. The possibilities are endless because, unlike Mother Nature, we're not constrained by what evolution has tried before. As Dr. Baker said in his Nobel banquet speech, the goal now is a whole new world of designed proteins to cure disease, degrade plastics and other pollutants, and help us adjust to a changing climate. In other words, these custom proteins could tackle some of humanity's biggest challenges, from health to environmental cleanup, by doing jobs no natural protein does, or by doing them more efficiently. All this remained pretty theoretical until recent years. But 2024 proved that protein design is coming of age. One breakthrough example was the use of AI tools, some adapted from the protein folding AI, to massively speed up and improve the design of new proteins. By having AI assist in modeling and refining protein designs, scientists went from creating new proteins in months to doing it in days. It's a bit like having a super intelligent partner that can take your creative idea for a protein and work out the kinks instantly. With these advancements, labs have already crafted novel enzymes that break down toxic molecules, experimental proteins that block viruses, and much more. We're essentially witnessing biology become an engineering discipline where you can sit at a computer and code a new molecule that will have real-world impact once synthesized. It's no wonder the Nobel Committee split the 2024 Chemistry Prize between protein folding and protein design pioneers, since one achievement feeds into the other. Now that AI can predict what shape a sequence will fold into, it drastically helps in designing sequences that fold into the shape you want. Don't be surprised if in a few years you hear about a synthetic protein-based cure or an enzyme that eats waste, and find out it was designed on a computer. The line between biology and technology blurred a little more in 2024, and the results promise to make the world a better place. With all of that said, 2024's biology breakthroughs covered an awe-inspiring spectrum. We peered back to life's humble origins and found a surprisingly sophisticated ancestor, surviving in a hostile young Earth. We looked inward and discovered a clever way to hack our own neural wiring to fight disease. And we leapt forward with AIs that unravel life's molecular secrets and even begin to create life's building blocks anew. Clearly, biology is a story still being written, one that stretches billions of years back, and with our new tools, one we are increasingly learning more secrets. Who knows what other mysteries we'll uncover or innovations we'll invent in the years to come. If 2024 is any indication, the future of biology will be equal parts history lesson and sci-fi adventure, and all of us get to witness it. Here's to the next chapter. If that blew your mind, hit that like button so the algorithm knows you're awake. Got a favorite breakthrough? Drop it in the comments. And hey, click subscribe if you're tired of the usual and ready for the fascinating. See you in the next one.